Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blood Bowl on Superfed TV's channel. Let me go ahead and get the link posted in chat. But first of all, joining me today is Liam from the Big O. Liam, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks, Superfed.
The channel cost here.
If Crusader doesn't turn up, are we going to ask anyone else?
I'll think about it.
He won't want to miss this.
I have a strong feeling that he's going to show up. Maybe somebody said they thought the match was at a half hour from now, so I wonder if it got posted wrong somewhere and he saw that.
Yeah, it's just weird. He hasn't been around at all today. So, I don't know. That makes me think he's asleep, but it is 1 in the afternoon, or nearly 1 in the afternoon.
All right. So we also have a special treat because we're in the round of 8. Heronsord made some awesome videos. So for those of you that are trickling into the chat, we'll get started on that as well. Kickoff is in about 10 minutes, so we're not missing anything, and I will be checking while things are playing and while we're talking to make sure we get the match from the start. But let's go ahead and start with the Pastry Pests and their wonderful intro video.
Here comes Vicious Miller. And he's taking down the great cheese. It makes sense. He's targeting the cheese early doors. And he's dead! He's killed the cheese! Now just leg it, Napoleon, mate.
Oh,
There
he
you go.
does it. Here he goes.
Yeah, easy mode. Napoleon.
Viva la France. Napoleon.
Oh, P40.
Before he's had enough. Luminous moving through next round.
If you're going to lose, you might as well lose to the reigning champions, I guess.
All right, and that is just an awesome, awesome video. Have you gotten a chance to see the full version of it yet, Liam? Or did you just watch it on the stream?
Oh, I watched a little bit of it just then, but
Okay.
ads got in the way.
Oh, no. All right, well, let's talk about... You can see it also. It's in the playoff spoiler chat later on, anyone that missed it, and I'll mention it and plug it in again. But let's go ahead and talk about the teams, and we'll do the 3-minute version of this just so we have time to get into the other team as well. This team has legends on it, both figuratively and literally. What's your favorite piece of Luminous's team?
Well, my favorite piece is... It's probably got to be Choco, doesn't it? What piece is more of a legend than Choco, really? Been around forever, and still an extremely good piece. Really good for protecting the ball against pesky wood elves, and also 9 movement is just nasty, really.
192 SPP and counting. This is a piece that's, could go the distance, almost to 100 matches. Yeah, it was, and he keeps scoring on it. That's the funny thing. Like you get legend, and he just doesn't care. He just keeps going with it. Yeah, 82 matches. How many touchdowns? 41. Yeah.
The interesting thing is, I don't think it's the key player today, though, for Lumi.
No.
That would, I reckon, either you could make arguments certainly for Napoleon or for either of the Storm Vermin, because of course Clawpalm is going to be very useful against those orcs, as I'm sure Supervet knows playing orcs. And
Yeah.
that one turner in a match where I don't really see either team losing their offensive drive might just be the difference.
It's funny you mentioned the 2 Storm Vermin. You've got the Strength Up 1, and then you've got the Piling On and Juggernaut 1. I could see Vicious Nell having a good day, but I don't I know Luminous is very careful with his piling on, so I don't see that being your primary blitz choice unless you're needing the Juggernaut. With Strength 4 sprinkled Halva, I think is probably going to see more action on the blitzes, and I think he's going to be probably the first choice for clearing a path for these rats.
Yeah, well, the key thing for Walkathon, looking at it from his perspective, sure they have Claw Palm, sure they're really nasty, but both of them have issues with mobility. So one's -1 movement, the other's 2 agility. So if you can tie them up and just make sure that they can't get around and use your guard to make sure they can't get good blitzes, that's probably how Walker's going to try and counter these really 2 good Storm Vermin.
You can't contain the rats, but you can contain the storm vermin. I think that's a good point. Perfect. Well, you mentioned the Astrorkz. Let's go ahead and take a peek at their video, and then we'll take a look at their team as well.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. All right.
Oh, naughty again, But just look at this centre line. It's just a complete wall of blue armoured orcs just going, sit there. Look, this is why Sputnik is a legend. Look at him. Look at him, giving it hell. Giving it the beans.
All right, so that is the Astrorkz, and this is their wonderful team at 1960 team value, with a record of 26-8-10. They've been around a while as well, not as long as the Pastry Pests, but this is an orc team that's been through the ringer a couple times, and they've got some wounds to show for it as well. Tell me about the Astrorkz. I haven't watched a whole lot of walkathons playing with this team. I've watched them in Clan League and other matches, but is this more, would you say, more of a control orc team or damage orc team?
Definitely a control, or at least that's how he's been forced to play it this season. You see, at the other end of the spectrum, there's Papa Nasty playing on the other side of the bracket.
Right.
And he obviously has some very developed blitzes, but Walkathon has always been more of a control coach, and you can certainly see that here, just with his really well-developed Black Orcs. They've had some injuries, but they're still pretty well developed. The difference is this, the Blitzer core has, I think, 2 blitzers died this season. I know his previous Palmer was killed by Morka's Wood Elf team by Lerdnor, for those of you who know who that is. So he's had to redevelop his blitzers this season, and obviously they're a little underdone, but they're pretty all right. It's a bit worrying having them not that skilled against Skaven, because the Black Orcs are usually too slow and won't have tackle. So really your blitzers matter more against the faster teams, but he has a Pommer. If he can protect it, he should be fine. And he also has 2 diving tackle, which is really handy.
So I coach orcs. I love orcs. I can talk about this team a little bit too, just from a unbiased orc perspective. The thrower is phenomenal. With the movement 6, that makes up for its biggest shortcoming. He doesn't have blodge, but it's not really going to matter. Anyone that's getting in there is probably going to either have tackle or a way to punish. The actual accurate on the throw makes me think that he does pass off occasionally to those blitzers, and that's how they get developed. If so many of them were dead at the start of the season, that would explain how they got so developed. And then the Agi 4 makes that pass even more of a threat. I think Luminous is going to have a very hard time stopping this orc team from scoring, but the ball management and the turn management is going to be something that the orcs are going to have to play against. 3 diving tackle, I take that back, is going to be possibly helpful, at least from controlling, the line rats and controlling the storm vermin. Gutter runners, unfortunately, you're not going to stop with diving tackle, at least not unless you get lucky. But yeah, I think Luminous has a great team. I think the Astrorkz have all the right pieces in order to punish that great team. But that niggled piling on, Luminous has a knack for punishing people that misplay piling on. As anyone that's watched Rodog and Div 1 in his first match, or just in general, I think you'll see that get punished. So I'd be very cautious before I pile on against Luminous. But only one piece to really worry about that, and he does have tackle. Overall, a lack of tackle.
Yeah.
That concerns me. The other tackle piece doesn't even have Mighty Blow, so it's going to be hard for him to play the removal game. Yeah, we'll see how this works out.
No, I think you can agree with me that the real important thing is Armstrong is so good because kickoff return, 4 agility, sure hands, and block just means that sometimes the problem is that the Skaven can disrupt you before you can form a cage, and forming a cage with these guard Blackhawks is really good for Walkathon because once he gets in the cage, it's going to be pretty hard to get out of, and Armstrong just lets him get into a cage that much quicker, which really helps him, particularly when there's no leap strip ball. There is a wrestle strip ball gutter runner, but he's going to have trouble, and strip ball's useless against sure hands anyway. So we probably won't see him cage diving as much as we might see Choco Chipmunk or the other, probably Choco Chipmunk or the other line gutter runner rather.
And the last thing I will touch on right now, and the match is starting right now, so we're going to go ahead and jump into it. But the last thing I'll touch on is you mentioned from a control standpoint throwing some meat at the Storm Vermin and keeping them locked down. He doesn't have a lot of meat to throw, just 2 linemen. He does have a Goblin instead of where that third one would go. And he has the Troll. You can try and keep the Troll on them, but it doesn't have blocks, so that might not work out well either. But let's go ahead and jump into the game.
So what's your call here, looking at the 2 teams, Superfed?
I think Luminous takes it, but I think he leaves with scars. And I think it could go to overtime, depending on how quickly Luminous scores. If he scores too fast, that does open it wide up for Walkathon.
Yeah, I think I can certainly see this match being decided actually by the opening kickoff. Who gets to choose, because both teams I believe would choose to kick because that's what Luminous likes to do. He said that a lot, and Walkathon probably wants to do that as well, just for the fact that it allows him to get a shot at the 1-turner before he does his 1-turn, which might be the difference in this game, that 1-turner coming on and scoring.
I'm not getting the match pulled up. Have you had any luck with it yet? Oh, there it is. Just came up now.
It's just up.
It looks like Lumi won the toss.
So yeah, that makes me think Lumi is a really good shot here, because I'm guessing he would have chose to give Walkathon the first drive, which means he really needs to punish Lumi for giving him the first shot at his players. And also to all the viewers out there, hopefully Crusader is going to wake up and join us soon.
Yeah, Crusader signed up for it, but he hasn't quite found his way in here yet. And I know it's cluttery, but I, just so everyone knows, I do leave all the skills up because I just am used to it. So Lumi is defending first. And I know you mentioned that you thought that they would kick first. As an agility team, I personally like to defend first because I want to have all my players on the pitch to start, especially with that 1-turn threat and Navolian with only AV7.
Yeah.
If you go attack first, you risk taking too much damage that you have to field him before he can get his 1-turn reply. This way, if the Orcs do score in 8 turns, you've still got the chance of Navolian doing his job.
No, yeah, that's exactly right. It's all about the timing of the 1-turner. It's either he comes in turn 8 of this half, and no one has a chance to hit him before that, or he comes in turn 16 of the next half if the rats were to receive, and it means that the Astrorkz would really love to kill that gutter runner. So,
But I think you're probably right that the orcs might have chose to attack first, just to try and get that damage going. So I think both teams might be happy with the opening results.
yeah, I know Walkathon was saying he did plan to kick first for sure, but he might have changed his plans. I don't know what has been going through his head. But yeah. You can't see the dice log down the bottom, sadly, so can't really tell who got the receive.
Oh, they said it in chat. Walkathon said Lumi won the toss.
Oh yeah.
And we are playing in a magic dome, it looks like. So that'll keep the weather nice. I'm assuming that it's the orcs.
Yeah, it is the Orcs' home stadium.
A decent kick, but because of the movement 6, I have no doubt that the orcs will be able to cage up here. And get the ref.
That's Walkathon would like that, but then again,
I don't know that
if the
Lumi hates
piling on
it.
hits yeah, exactly. If the piling on hits the dirt, we know what's happening.
And Lumi definitely has a dirty player in Zavole. 23 brackets have Lumi going to the next round, according to CheeseX. Thank you, Cheese.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty fair call backing Lumi in this match, but I do know there are a lot of people who haven't seen the Astrorkz in action, and they have been really good this season.
And you'd probably know how to say his name, but it looks like Lascaris has Walkathon going all the way and winning it all. So
It wouldn't surprise me to see either of the winner of these teams go all the way. Sage and Sanjun await them next round, so whoever wins that matchup. And I can definitely see either team winning. Sage's team versus the Astrorkz would be a very interesting potential matchup. But no, I think both teams could go all the way.
I don't think it's bold to say that this half of the playoffs is a little bit stronger, at least in terms of crowd favorites.
Well, what do you think about? We can see that 2 of Lumi's gutter runners have actually been benched for the first half. To me, that says he really thinks that he's not going to win the first half drive, and is, tanking for the one turn and the second half. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's planning on taking some hits at the very least, and so if you can limit those hits to the line rats, that's always a good thing for Skaven. So far, though, no real damage yet. Spoke too soon.
Says that. You can just say that a couple more times and we'll be happy.
That definitely couldn't have been any better timed.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I have a sound effect for this one. Yes, I do.
They drew first blood, not you.
Wait, what?
They drew first blood.
That's right. First blood drawn for the orcs. And
I
you
think
got to be happy with
everyone
that.
can celebrate with a dead rat.
Yeah, I think that's
Even
a
if you're
good
supporting
first turn.
Lumi. Dead rat. Yeah.
Yes, no F in the chat for that rat.
Yep.
But that's the caster curse. Anytime you call something like that, it's inevitable to happen here. You can see the niggled Blitzer is protected by 2 black orcs. He's actually just as protected as the ball is at this point. Kind of funny.
Yeah, I imagine it would stay that way because very important.
We'll have to see where the Rats want to go from here. I think there is a pretty wide open part of the pitch to the right of the ball right now where you might want to put somebody. But I know Luminous likes to play a little bit further back in his half and just kind of let the team come to him.
Well, see, I think it's good that Walkathon hasn't advanced into his half at all. But at the same, like, your point is very valid. Letting Walkathon come to him is definitely what Lumi wants to do because it means that he can pile on with a bit of invulnerability. Right now, there's that Black Orc, I think, could get piled on. The block Black Orc, looking from Walkathon's view on the left flank. But no one else is really in a good position. Everyone else is either in the cover of guard or going to get a retaliatory hit after it. So I think it's a pretty solid first turn.
Yeah, no foul from the Orcs, but I mean, you're just going to get line rats. And am I mistaken that there was no blitz either from the Orcs?
Yeah, I think there was no blitz. I was wondering if that was just a visual thing, but yeah.
An abundance
Bit
of caution.
Yeah. Oof, that's not the start that Walkathon liked. Badly hurt. Does he Apo?
No, he doesn't.
No.
So, yeah, sure. Lumi says, take my 50k line rat. I'm going to take your 100k black orc. And in a pawn for rook move, he's not any worse for wear.
Yeah, well, Walkathon does have a bench. Thankfully, that was just the block Black Orc. If that was a block Mighty Blow Guard, I think we might have even seen a turn 1 Apo, which is pretty aggressive against his
No, I
claw
know.
pawn.
That's going all in.
Yeah. But, like, it really hurts losing your player that early, really.
Now you get to see the line, or the Skaven positioning game here.
Yeah, they wouldn't want any unnecessary hits happen.
I just don't like
surprise me.
that lack of blitz on the first turn. Even if you just use Copernicus, the black orc there, to move up, I think it would have been 3, and then maybe a GFI back, but I don't know. That's cautious.
Interesting play, because I think Walkathon knows that he has to remove rats, and hasn't really been a good start for him when a line rat for a black orc. But yeah, he's only going to get 1 blitz this turn, and so yeah, he's going to have to watch out. The kick line rat has done his job, so
Gets the removal at least.
he's going to get knocked out.
But yeah, he's not in a position where he's going to be able to take any additional blocks. Do you foul that line rat?
Ooh, very tempting, because there is a lineman who could do that. So I think he might think about it. It also depends. Does he use his guard and strength advance to try and get the 2 line rats manned up?
Oh, we're going aggressive.
Ooh,
I would have.
aggressive.
Yep. he moved that black orc before finding out if that troll was going to play this turn, and I think he's going to get punished for this because I don't think he's going to be able to get enough strength up there.
Yeah, well, there are 2 other guard black orcs. The problem is you just can't let Lumi get in the backside of his cage, because that would not be very good.
Okay, so he's bringing up blitzers
Yeah,
to fill in where that troll would have gone.
wouldn't surprise me now if we do see a foul, and I think I'd like to see a foul here.
It's only a 1 assist right now.
That's true. Yeah, guard doesn't affect fouls, does it? So.
And part of this cage is going to be marking.
Interesting.
So I feel like Walkathon is
true
already
guard.
playing a little nervous and aggressive. It's only turn 2. He didn't need to move up the pitch at all at this point.
He's not in a horrible position. The big thing is Kepler, the Black Orc who's manned up the Storm Vermin. If he goes down, you can definitely get 2 dice block on Sagan and then come into the cage. So that's what Lumi would try and do. Whether he can do that this turn, there is a lot of guard. just up here protecting.
He can have a 2-die on the ball if he makes everything work.
Yeah. The problem is
I don't think he would
he's
do
only
that
gonna
because that's far more all
Yeah.
in than I usually see Lumi play, because he'd be assisting with gutters and things like that, and the potential for any of those things to go wrong and then punish him would be too high in my opinion. But basically the way Walkerthon played this is he gave up a 2-die. If you move over and assist here, it'd probably be a 1-die at best to get this Kepler down, and then you could have a 2-die on Sagan, and then you can blitz with Sprinkled Halva just above this lineman here, and get the 2-die there. But
So
we'll see.
We're not going to see a blitz on the ball, but we
Yeah.
will see the cage get knocked away. Probably. And this is a pretty good move because gets your claw in there.
No armor break, which is a big relief.
Yeah.
But that's only a movement 3 Black Orc, so he can only stand up unless he's rolling GFIs. Another Orc hits the dirt, and this one gets piled on.
Interesting not to see the letting him follow him up.
Yeah, I think that was probably a misplay. Because now that piling on is very safe.
But I wouldn't. The Storm Vermin aren't in the best position for Lumi. Thankfully, he did remove a player. If he didn't remove that blitzer, I would have been a bit worried for their safety, really. It's all right.
So he is marking with at least one gutter here. And gets another knockdown. I think this whole turn goes very differently if that troll was moved first. Because that forced him to use that guard stand from Blitzer there as opposed to putting it on the left next to the other one.
I think, like, while it was a misplay from Walker, he will be happy that I'd imagine he's going to get a shot at one of the Storm Vermin here. Because Sprinkled Harva is probably going to get hit, particularly with the guard right next to him on the floor. And there could even be a cheeky foul on that Storm Vermin, Vicious Nilla, if Walkathon wanted to. Which with a bribe, it could happen for sure.
My only concern with that is the amount of pieces that are required to make that play are going to leave the ball exposed. And it's already under pressure. So I feel like the blitz is going to be on that line rat. And then...
So line rat's hitting the dirt. Walkathon will be happy with that. Just the line rat dodge fails. Just handy.
that was generous of Lumi.
Or gives the numbers advantage back to the Orcs, in fact, which you really need when you're playing Skaven. Yeah, see, very aggressive here.
It is. You're piling on the Storm Vermin. I see the reroll. Yeah, I know the grade roll's coming.
I'd totally take that reroll every time.
And I'm assuming here's the pile on too. Punished.
Oh, come on. Come on, Nuffle. So yeah, that's a bit unlucky there for Walker. Particularly with Lumi's early removals. But it happens.
So, we're now with no blitz, ball marked. I'm assuming he's going to have to make a dodge here with no reroll.
Or he can just block his way out. That is... Oh, I think he'd probably have to block.
Again with no reroll, although that's safer than the dodge. But
Yeah.
it's a wrestle piece.
1 in 9.
A
Yeah,
1 in
wrestle.
9. 1 in 9 is going to...
Oh, troll, don't do that. That troll not moving is hurting. For sure.
I just, like I said, that was a heavy investment to get that just knockdown on Sprinkled Halva, and now he's again putting himself in a position where Lumi has a lot of options.
The big problem is there's not as much guard as he would like on the ball carrier as Walker would like. So Lumi could try come around the back and get a sack.
To answer your question, Papa Nasty, there is no dirty player on Walkathon's team.
Yeah.
And I agree, Chaos Sabulu, that piling on was extremely greedy and probably not the best call.
You can say, I think...
It was.
I think it is greedy. I think it was... Talking to Walker earlier this week, it didn't surprise me at all that he would pile on there. Just because when you... Even though the Skaven have lost...
Oh, your mic's cutting out a little bit for me.
Is it? Oh, the internet has been horrible here. But the less Skaven on the pitch, the better, the less players in total on the pitch, the better it is for Skaven, because it just allows them to use the movement better than they could if there are more players on the pitch.
I'm going to preface this by saying it's just a joke, but I thought your internet was only shitty when you were up 2-0.
Brutal.
I couldn't help myself. Anyway, back to the game that matters here.
Australian internet service providers are not known for being very good.
It's almost a meme, so yeah, I get you. So we see a Black Orc get stunned here just by the line rat. And see, now these guys are almost separated again. The ball is totally exposed. I'm worried that we're going to see, and yeah, and there's the 2-die. Oh, just a 1 on the GFI first. Oh. And there's the POW.
Thanks, the POW.
Now we got a loose ball against Skaven.
Yeah. Is it diving tackle next to it? No, there isn't. That's what's scary. I'll come online and that's a good bounce.
That's a good scatter. I know I can tell that chat is probably heavily in Lumi's court here because the chat is not filled with not like this. As I'm sure more of the Big O fans would probably be feeling and thinking at this moment.
Yeah, I'm holding it in for the moment, guys. Might have to let it out a bit later if this doesn't get a bit better.
I wouldn't even say the dice have been cruel. I mean, the ones on the troll are rough. Not getting any kind of break or removal on Vicious Nilla. I mean, it's not going to happen every time, but I wouldn't say the dice have been rough.
What the roughest thing now, that like most dice have been all right. Just the armor breaks for Pastry Pests have been pretty impressive, really, considering that there was no armor break on the piling on for Walker, and that stun on the Black Orc is actually pretty huge right here.
Well, I mean, Claw doing Claw things, because the one that got injured, that was Claw, and I believe the knockout as well. So,
is that Crusader who's just joined chat?
Maybe.
Woken from his slumber.
No,
whoa.
Long story, landlord's been here being pissy.
Landlord's doing landlord things.
Mate, it's almost like they have claw occasionally.
Well, you are just in time to watch the Skaven go for a ball on the ground. Probably not this turn. I think they're probably just going to apply some pressure, but...
Actually, no armor break on Armstrong is pretty key here. I think they should be able to recover the Orcs.
Yeah, that's...
Especially, they could... There's a chain push option on that line rat who just moved in. If you chain push him into Sprinkled Harver and then Sprinkled Harver off the ball, you could get all 3 players off the ball and potentially make this look a lot better. Well, now you can't because of that chain push. Or
Fen doing
you
things.
can't. Yeah, now you can't. So this is going to be in 1 tackle zone.
At least.
Might be able to get Sprinkled Harver away. Depending if the troll decides to wake up. That would be very handy this turn.
Not quite as handy as you calling dibs for us, I say, Liam. Just catching up on all the Discord shit now as well. So, notable actions of the last 3 turns for those of us playing catch-up?
Troll decided not to act twice, and Walker got a little greedy with that. Removal on a Black Orc and knockout on a Blitzer. Dead Line Rat on turn 1, but a couple knockouts on meaningless Line Rats, except the Dirty Player. Kickoff event was a Get the Ref, and Walkerthon's aggression left the ball exposed to a 2-die hit. And now these kind of Black Orcs are a bit separated, but we're starting to see them get back into a somewhat defensible position.
Good pow. I
Lucky
can't say
one die.
I'm sad about that. I can't say I'm sad about that at all.
And another piling on, so this would be the second in a row on a Storm Vermin that did not result in anything. Not even a stun.
I can totally understand the piling on here.
That one I agree with more than the first one. The first one I don't think got him very much, and I put him in a bad position. The second, this one I think was a lot more tasty because and it's safer. I don't think you have to worry about the foul here, and it also just kind of plugs these gaps. So I don't think you're gonna get another hit on the ball this turn.
Yeah, it's just really nasty that he hasn't got anything from them though. Walkathon would be disappointed with that. It's not like it's particularly like he's been particularly robbed, but it's just a key thing you need to do against Skaven, which is remove Skaven.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you start removing rats, you start accumulating a huge advantage.
Well, and he's not popping nasty. He doesn't have 4 jump ups, so he's gotta make sure that he's capitalizing on the blitzes and blocks that he does have each turn. Now, the rats have been marking quite a bit, so he's still able to get some blocks back, but it's, you know, the last 2 turns, really, the only knockout was self-induced for Lumi. He hasn't actually, like, Walkathon isn't actually scoring any of these removals himself. The guard is all in good spots right now, except the one on the dirt, but I really don't see Lumi pushing this. Yeah, that blitz backwards makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, a win for Lumi is just holding the Orcs to no score here. And the problem is, the more the Orcs try and push down the field, the more they're going to expose themselves. So, yeah, I think Lumi is in no rush.
Now, if this is a removal, I would call it unjust. Okay, good.
Yeah, no removal.
Now, had that been claw, it would have been, but, you know. Thankfully, you can only have 2 claw, or 3 if they have the stupid rat ogre, but you shouldn't expect more than 2 claw.
The problem here, Sprinkled Harvest isn't getting out, and I would really be putting the boot in if I was Walkathon. Particularly since he can't move too far down the pitch anyway, so he can afford to stick around him a bit and use that one bribe he got from kickoff events.
If he doesn't stand up, sure. My concern, though, is there's just so few pieces right now protecting the ball, because those 3 Black Orcs are not really involved in helping at all, and now they're completely circled and quarantined from the rest of the Orcs. So if you do invest, you know, heavily in this foul, you're not going to be able to see much progress up the pitch. It's turn 4. Well, it will be turn 5. You definitely want to be on your opponent's half at this point, or at the very least have some kind of threat. But if he moves this movement 7 blitzer, oh, Let's see if he uses the bribe here. He might not. Okay, he does. I actually would make the case for not using the bribe there.
You reckon?
You've got
I
your
just
dirty
think-
player still. Granted, he's knocked out.
Oh yeah.
And that was the end of a turn in the first place. Like, he's not... He might... Well, okay, he does stand up a couple rats after that. But...
It is one less rat on the pitch. See, I think here we might see a hit on Cherry Jubilee. Although it's pretty hard for Walkathon to get. He'd like to get the Cherry Jubilee, but the reality is he might have to just settle for a different line
It
rat.
just bases him.
Settle for less.
Newton, we hardly knew you. So
It's
it's
taking one for the team.
that's a dirty, dirty job, and I do not envy him.
Job for a one. It's not a job for a Blackhawk.
Yeah, took his job. Oh, yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, I guess you're protecting yourself from getting blitzed elsewhere, but man, he's gonna rely on the troll here to make this knockdown. Maybe not. He could blitz it. I wouldn't blitz it, though. Going the other way with the blitz. So he's just trying to get some attrition.
What is this, armor 9?
Doesn't have to be armor 9. It can be armor 4 at this
been-
point.
Still thinking about
To
the
be fair to
pylon.
Lumi, his armor has held, but he has minimized blocks, and that's all you can do, really. You can't control the dice, can you? So, he has played it well.
He doesn't pile on. Which is good, because I wouldn't have either. But okay, so he's going to lend a little bit of support to Newton here. But that lineman isn't actually doing a thing. Because
It's time
he's
to
marked
wake
by
up,
a couple.
Einstein.
Buddy, your friends need
Oh
you.
no, don't activate
Let's
Einstein
go.
now.
Oh, man.
Oh, see, yeah, there we go. Now
Nice.
you can act.
I don't think he will. Yeah, he didn't.
He doesn't.
I don't know, man. This is getting hairy for Walker.
I think Walkathon, he shouldn't be too... I actually think he'd be very happy with the fact he's contained the rats. He's sort of surrounded them. The problem is, not enough protection on his ball carrier. That's what worries me. And Choco Chipmunk could get around the edge for sure. And pop the ball out.
Well, he's trying to contain the contain, but I don't think he has enough pieces for it. And it's not like he's going to run up the left side of this pitch. Like, if I'm the Orcs here, my scoring play is going to be on that movement 7 blitzer. And I'm just going to have to try and get the ball to him later. And maybe I try and draw something over here, but...
Well, he's got it. When you say later, he has to make something happen sooner.
Yeah.
3 turns left to score.
Maybe you do throw the troll punch. I don't
Wouldn't
know.
surprise me though if while it's not a good position for Walker, this isn't usually how Lumi plays, like going aggressively for the ball and leaving his players in contact. So
true. Well, and
it
I
is
know
a bit out of Lumi's comfort zone.
he's definitely doing the math right here of how can I minimize blocks for the next turn, because you just got based by 8 Orcs.
Well, Vicious Nilla is about to have a crack at Newton.
Do we see a piling on? I think not.
I
So if
would.
this armor holds
On
for
this one.
time,
See, this one I would, because I'm not worried about the foul coming back.
I think Lumi still wants to hold.
But the
out
armor,
for
the armor
score.
holds, so yeah, he probably won't. If there was a stun there, I think he does, but...
Oh, absolutely. If he broke armor, I
if you
think you
did-
just go straight for the polygon.
Well, if you ever don't,
Oh, he still does.
Ooh,
And he gets a little bit of Walker dice.
ooh, yeah. That's a really not a turning point, but that's really handy for Walker for sure.
What piling on there does do is it actually takes an assist away from this black orc. So now he's gonna get hit at least a couple times back, and maybe that's why he did pile on, because maybe he figured he's not gonna be able to punch his way out of all these things, and all the ones that are marked right now. Well, there's one gutter that he probably wants to try and get out of this, but for the most part, everything else that's marked in that center is just line rats. And maybe he chain pushes here. No, goes for the ball.
Oh, go for the ball.
Hits the edge. Ooh. Pushback. Got to be very happy with that for Walker.
Great restraint and not using the reroll there. There's 4 turns left, but I think a lot of people will reroll the 1 die on the ball.
Oh,
Jesus.
come
Oh,
on.
nice. Thanks,
Ooh,
Knuckle.
that's brutal.
Just a casual 1 in 36. Not that he needed it, but he got it. That'll free up that gutter.
So there's no armor break at least, so no Nuffle really being brutal. See, I think there might be a big hit on Choco here though. Like, despite Choco has done really well to sort of stymie the drive for a bit, but I can certainly see that happening.
I mean, if
He's
you...
gutter runner who's on his own at the moment. You potentially can get a mighty blow tackle piling on over there. I think Choco might be in trouble.
I'd get Cherry Jubilee in there as well. Because then you're either blitzing the sidestep or you're blitzing the strip ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. Blitzing, yeah, you don't really want to do either of those, do you?
I don't like that position, and I'll tell you why. You can actually blitz with the ball carrier now against the strength 2, push him to one side, and then you've got your agi 4, and you can just kind of move over into a more defensible position. I would have put the gutter to the left, even though it's not, trapping the dodge as much. It just means that if he's going to blitz his way out, it's going to go the wrong direction.
That's a pretty good point. He really has to go through Choco Chipmunk here, I think, because you got to move forward. Got to get, I think it's about 2 squares over the halfway line, and then you're in range with the MV6, so that the thrower can keep the ball. And he also has GFIs to spare if the need be.
Troll wakes up. That's good.
Yeah,
Einstein does a thing. There's the palm.
Come on. Not that I'm biased, but a dead rat is dead rat.
A dead legend? You're asking for a legend to die right here.
Oh, he might be on the money.
Ooh,
that's a good KO.
That's good though. Only 1 gutter on the field. If Walkathon
we say 1 gutter on the field. You say there's only 1 gutter on the field, but if you look at the bench, there's a natural 1-turner sitting there going,
yes,
I got this.
Yeah,
Walkathon certainly is not out of the woods if he even manages to score here.
I mean, if the KO doesn't go well, there's going to be a goblin on the pitch. Think about that.
Not good either.
It's starting to get a couple of removals.
Yeah, 2 knockouts
So now,
isn't bad.
This actually makes it's a bit of a consolation prize for Walkathon. If he manages to not score, and if the rats manage to not score as well, there's going to be 4 KO rolls for the rats, which they might not make many of. But of course, there is a Galileo would like to be on the blitzer who's KO'd for the Astrorkz. So, I think it's still best to score for sure.
The age-old orc question of where are you going to put the ball, which is my problem as well, as Crusader called out the other day. But I think you're going to have to put it either near a storm vermin, or he's going to go up the left sideline here. But either way, it's not safe. It's just around people.
I think though Walkathon doesn't mind his position at all, simply because both Storm Vermin are tied up on the ground. Sure, they can blitz their way out, but they're not going to be hitting the ball.
There's the scoring
that's a
threat
big
moving up there.
thing.
So that contain actually does help a bit, and you actually can move this lineman. So actually, I'm not. Oh no!
Oh, jeez. Come on. Agility 4, do a thing.
It's a bit terrifying for Walker, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I'm not opposed to the left side now because he can relatively protect it.
Well, yeah, he's just he gained a 2-man advantage this in this drive alone. Sorry, this turn.
Yeah.
2 knockouts.
And we'll just say Sprinkled Halva is kind of out of the match at this point. He's not going to be able to really catch up to the play. So it's going to be on Vicious Nilla, who's got double guard. You got your Tiraretsu, or what is it? The line rat there. He can kind of get in the way, but not really. Yeah, I think those 2 knockouts were probably just enough to make sure that Walkerthon can score.
His biggest problem is, though, as soon as he scores, that one-turner Navolian just steps onto the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with re-rolls in hand, it's...
And the Orcs only have...
puts the ball in the end zone.
The Orcs have 2 tackle and 2 diving tackle, and that is not going to be enough to stop a one-turn.
Well, and also, the hard work of that... of those 4 KOs suddenly comes undone. You got 75% chance of each one of them coming back, so you're probably going to get about 3 coming back or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Papa Nasty saying chat Walkathon would be potentially better off not scoring due to reduce the amount of KO rolls. It's not wrong.
I think you always score if you have the chance, though.
Yeah,
while
I
Papa
think
is
if
right,
he doesn't score, if he's not scoring, he's kicking off to the Rats next half, correct?
Call me crazy, but I agree to reroll that. That's your claw palm piece, and you got 2 rerolls with 3 turns. And you're not going to reroll that? I mean, I definitely would have rerolled that with
I think
Vicious
I agree
Nilla.
with you. The removal of the Black Orc.
A second removal of the Black Orc.
Yeah. You're unlikely to stop this score. I think that a removal there on a Black Orc would be huge.
And you're always going to save 1 reroll for your 1 turn, but
Absolutely.
I think that one is probably warranting.
Now, there could be some chain push shenanigans here by pushing the Cherry Jubilee onto another Black Orc, trying to just maximize your blocks.
That's just
use
good old Orkin 101.
Yeah. No, I'd like to see that. If Kepler moves up a square to the top right, and then you have the Pommer comes round and hits Sprinkled Hava, you actually need 2 to assist. Sorry, so that'd only be 1 dice, so we can't do that quite yet.
Oh, Einstein, he tried.
Yeah,
There's a difference between intelligence and smarts.
I will point out, though, that several of these really stupid rolls are 4+. He's not really putting him in positions where he's getting the assist on the really stupid roll.
Does Einstein need to activate this turn, though?
Yeah. Well, there's a chain bush, but not the one you were thinking of. But
Yeah.
that does allow multiple hits on Vicious Nilla as opposed to multiple hits on Cherry Jubilee.
And also, we see the tackle on Cherry Jubilee, which is just handy. And
now this is a foul. This is the foul. Oh, saved by the knockout.
Saved. Was that
Vicious
saved?
Nilla was slightly concerned there.
Saved by the knockout.
Great horn blood.
You could nearly foul Bavati though. Still,
I feel like Vicious Nilla saw the situation, took the hit, and looked at the ref, and then pretended to roll his eyes back. And he's just gonna come back. He's gonna come right back on the first roll, but he just didn't want that boot.
What was it? It's like the Mighty Ducks: take the hit, act hurt, get indignant.
Exactly.
You know, I wouldn't hate the foul on the thrower, to be honest.
Oh, Bavardi definitely deserves it. No doubt about it. It's a 1 assist foul, mind you,
From birth.
but he deserves it.
He's only armor 7. Like, you know,
You got a
it's not
bribe.
unreasonable.
Use the bribe.
Yeah.
It's not like
Do
you
it.
got a dirty player. Yeah, there. Emperor voice here.
Do it.
Do it. I mean, like, we can put it in the chat too. What was the? No, I can't type apparently.
He's totally thinking about it. Let the hate flow through you, Walkathon. You know you want to do it. It's a rat.
Do it. What?
Not enough hate.
Because that seemed relevant. I guess it does protect against the end around.
Yeah, it does protect. Cherry Jubilee could try and do something crazy. There was a double power earlier.
Papa Nasty saying it's only roughly a 25% chance to remove Bavati if he fouls him.
Do
But
it.
she's correctly pointing out that it is the leader. That dude has leader.
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, Michael Scott.
Exactly. Do it, Sheev Palpatine. Oh god. Oh god.
Who needs piling on anyway?
Yeah.
Although
Remy
this does make me look really smart because I did say most of the blitzes would be sprinkled halva. And that one.
Well, I mean, when you pick Claw, Mighty Blow.
I think
It's just strength
now-
4. I mean, it just makes it so easy to hit a black orc when you've got your
Yeah,
own strength
that
4
too.
piece.
Now, Sprinkled Hava isn't untouchable here. You can get Einstein around, put a buddy next to Einstein, run down
I know.
there, give him a
Are we
bit of a
risking,
smack.
are we
Lideus
risking that drive on a...
Lideus knows how greedy I am in this situation with the bribe.
Give
Granted-
him a bit of a smack.
I always roll the 1 and 6 and get punished for it, but I can't stop myself. I mean, if you get a good gang foul like this on a leader piece, I would take it. We'll know in just a second here if this blitzer moves back. Nope, he's not.
No.
Playing for the win.
I mean, yeah. If you don't roll the 1 and 6, then the foul there is incredible value.
How many KOs come back this is big? 1 Black Orc.
The Black Hawk returning is good news.
Only 2 rats.
Choco Chipmunk not coming back is probably the most important thing there.
Yeah.
The kicker doesn't really matter. But the dirty player did come back, even though he doesn't have the bribe. I think we'll see some action there.
I hope the Orcs are setting up a tripwire here because they need it.
We do have a goblin on the pitch, which is a little entertaining to me.
He's got one that's diving tackle, and nothing wrong with him.
Blodge, no less, too. I mean, it's a decent goblin.
He does
It's
cost
just not-
110k.
There's just not much you can do to stop this one turn.
No, you really can't.
Like, the best you're hoping for is a perfect defense, in which case you then sort of stack tackle and diving tackle around the ball, like around Napoleon. But that's aside from that, like, what else do you do?
Sometimes that can make it even worse because then you can blitz them away. I think that did happen the other day with Lumi actually. Someone got perfect D, moved up, and then he knocked them out the way. Sometimes this is just the best you're going to get, and you're going to just have to hope he fails the rolls, which aren't that easy. So they can fail.
I mean, it's a sure
They're
hands.
not hard for sure.
Sure
but, like-
hands they pick up there with the pass and accurate and
The dodge through the hole, one's happened.
They
I've seen it
do.
before.
They definitely do.
I see this with one-turners all the time where they put the one-turner on the wing, and I don't like this as much. I would actually put them in the corner of the line of scrimmage, that what is that, 5 spaces over, and then 2 people on the side there, because that allows you to get more blocks against a perfect D to free up your piece. When it's just 2 over here, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like it's harder for you to blitz your way out of it if that happens.
I get what you're saying. But conversely, though, like if you're in a wide zone, your opponent can only be putting 2 pieces in
Right.
the wide zone as well.
Right.
But no, I do get what you're saying. If you're in the corner of the line of scrimmage,
You have more protectors or more, I don't know. Maybe I've only had one natural one-turner in my whole existence of Blood Bowl, and it was with High Elves, so it didn't really even matter. But
and like as Papanasi just points out, it was my next thought too. If say your opponent has kick, and they put the ball in the direct opposite corner from where you are, like that's a lot of distance that you have to cover then to get the ball and then get back. And get
it's
into
less than
the
if you're in the
I mean, like, to be fair, with your high movement players like Skaven, you know, and you've got a re-roll in hand, it's not that difficult. Like, gutter runners can pick up the ball easily enough.
Yeah. Weather Dome.
Just kick it right to the thrower. I might in this situation, if you had kick, would you kick right back deep in the back corner, or
Front
I was
left.
just thinking, kick, yeah, all the way down, like short to the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lumi just going to take the hits on the line of scrimmage.
And Vicious Nilla did pop up, so I'm definitely saying that he, faked that injury.
Controversy at the game.
Oh, well, it's only a lineman.
Potentially
Well,
down to
his
10
job is-
orcs.
It's just a pain for the Orcs, isn't it?
Well, being outnumbered by
Considering
Steven, I think it's a pain for
They-
everybody.
yeah. No, Lumi definitely would be pretty happy, I think, with his injured dice. They haven't been particularly lucky,
Just wrestle.
but they haven't been poor. They've been just pretty
He's
good.
going to get the 2 die on the troll.
The claw body blow hit on Letro. What Einstein, man, like.
Well, he leveled off of the kill on turn 1, and since then he's just been gloating about how great he was and how important. And
I
now,
am so great. I am so great.
since then, not so much. Ooh,
Oh, jeez, really? You got
a sure hands. I guess.
But now there's no reroll on this catch or any of the GFIs. Actually, does he have sure feet? He does have sure feet.
He does.
Yes.
That catch was a 1 in 6 though to just fail.
Going through
He
the
goes.
tackles.
Here goes.
Yep.
And
he fails.
Got him.
Oh.
Tackle broke armor.
Oh.
Jeez.
Just barely
Has to
hurt.
after that.
He does that.
I
Oh,
think
wow.
the Big O guys are
Yeah.
gonna be pretty happy with that. Phew, that's huge.
Yeah, no, he had to Apo that, right?
Just going to point out that if he had used the sure hands, that would have worked.
Yeah, because he would have had a reroll.
He scores if he uses Bavati there.
And there's 11 players on for Orcs. So a huge turn of events there. Oh, Choco doesn't get back on either.
That's good news for those of us
For
who
the Big O.
yeah,
We're not biased.
For those who hate the baker,
Well,
I
after
just-
the first 4
like
turns,
10,
I'd
30,
say
30.
I want to see
I'd say-
Sputnik do a thing. The Goblin, you've got 110,000 gold
I want to
in
see
value.
it be used as a missile.
No, his job is to do the one turn. Come on, let the poor spot. Like, I sort of anticipate Spudnik to just hide in the back zone and be like, yeah, please leave me alone.
Why give him block and diving tackle if he's going to just be a one-turn threat?
To survive for when he doesn't succeed the one turn.
So what's the call from here, guys?
What's the call?
Reckon we see this overtime?
I don't see Lumi rushing this at all. I think the only way he scores before turn 14 is if he just starts hemorrhaging players. If he gets down to 6 players, then sure he's going to have to score. But
yeah, the only way that Walkathon forces Lumi to score early is just by applying the hurt, right?
And normally it's safe to give the Orcs the ball with 3 turns, but since there is a couple movement ups here and the Goblin,
The thrower throw really well too.
yeah, and an Agi 4 thrower, I probably wouldn't risk. If you can, I would probably try not to score before turn 16, but and just play for overtime.
I think there could be an argument for leaving Walkathon only 2 turns, but I wouldn't want to leave
actually,
3 for sure.
I take that back. You've got 3 knockouts. Injury-wise, you guys are dead even. So maybe you do score fast, so you can try and get the number advantage, and you just kind of see what happens with your first 2 blitzes, I think. Because if you can remove a couple more Orcs and get that number advantage against the Orcs, then it's very easy to play defense against them.
So my question, after all that's said, is like, how much of a role does Navolian play in this offensive drive? Like, are we protecting him at all costs so that, say, we get forced to score sort of early, and then we need to do a one-turn attempt just to bring the game back to a tie? Like, you have to feel like Luminous has the advantage in an OT format, just because he has the gut runner who can just walk down the sideline and go, hey guys, and then score. Like, is this now a game of protect Navolian at all costs while trying to score?
Warhammer Frog makes a great point. It's foul time. Either team here could have a player advantage with a couple of removals. And now that we have the dirty player back on the pitch, even though there isn't a bribe, I still want to see Lumi foul with it. And he doesn't shy from the boot, so I think we'll get it. But
no, but he's generally a smart fouler too. He's not not cavalier about throwing his players onto the ground.
What I think we might see here is a stall from Lumi. Lumi's signature stall is just having his ball carrier very deep in the half and just sitting back there and sort of having a bit of a scrimmage. So what Walkathon probably wants to do is try and, defeat him in that scrimmage, surround him a bit.
Jeez.
And
now he doesn't even have to try and pick up ball.
But I think we'll see him and Navolian drop back into safety, and then Walkathon and Lumi go at it and try and remove each other's kill pieces.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, Vicious Nilla's starting off the half with a blitz on Galileo.
He doesn't follow, so you obviously won't see the pile on. And actually, he probably wouldn't have piled on anyway because the foul.
Yeah.
But he's also not
really
safe there.
He can be made relatively safe, though. That's what
Yeah.
these linemen are for.
Well, I assume one of them's going to get a boot applied to someone, and one of them's going to assist Sprinkled Halva. Yeah, there's that one. So then he's just going to have to start swinging left. That's not going to do it. Thinking about the
Do you
reroll.
re-roll this, or do you just accept it?
I mean, I would, but he won't.
I don't think you can re-roll in overtime format. That would have been what Lumi would have just thought then, I reckon.
True.
You can, but you've got 3 re-rolls.
Leaves the troll open down the middle. Troll base the ball.
Well, he's going to move the thrower back.
Here we go,
I'm
Einstein.
assuming.
Yeah, he'll be dropping back, I would.
Or
Ooh,
I mean, if that's dropping back, I don't know what's going on.
interesting.
It's still a safe position.
Yeah,
For the time
Lumi's
being,
not
at
much.
least.
Usually he does his deep screen, but I guess probably not having Choco on has changed that a little. Playing out of his comfort zone, so Walkathon will be happy with forcing Lumi to do that.
He seems, yeah, like I haven't, like, admittedly haven't seen overly much of Lumi play, but this does seem to be more aggressive than his usual.
Well, I think it is kind of like what I was saying, where he's not sure if he wants to score fast or slow yet, and he's still waiting to see who gets the removals and who doesn't, and he didn't get any removals here.
Basically waiting to see who blinks first, right?
Exactly, and so he's in a position where he can score fast if he needs to. He can still score in 2 turns, or he can still drop back if he needs to as well.
Now, is there any value for this lineman, Tia Gowdy? He's isolated from the pack. Is there any sort of reason we should be blitzing him and just trying to pick off isolated Skaven players as they come up?
Looks like that's where...
No, you're going to have to gun around him, which I don't hate. Tackle is going to do a thing.
I think you just cut that rat off from his mates.
Oh boy.
That's very handy again. Like, KOs aren't great, but it's just one less player to screen off, and it's a gutter runner too, so...
Well,
it means that...
Sorry,
It means that he's a bit more. I think Lumi will have to push down the pitch a bit more because he doesn't have his usual boon of having 4 gutter runners to pass off to. He only has 2.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you say KO is not that great, but I mean, like, it's another Skaven player off the pitch.
Yeah.
Like, you're applying more pressure to Luminous. Like, now you've got to start asking yourself, shit, I've got 4 players currently knocked out. 2 of which are gutter runners.
That might force a faster score, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, you start applying pressure to a player to force them to score early.
I think this hit on Halva is going to be the one that decides whether this speeds up or not, and the subsequent foul, if there is one.
Yeah.
Well, Halva.
Into the ground.
Oh, that's an injury.
Ooh, that's huge. That's huge. No Apo.
It's just a badly hurt, so...
But he won't be coming back.
No, and I mean, like, that removes one of your more key players, I would say.
Well, that was the vermin that was getting all the action, so... It's...
the Troll's back into it.
The Black Orcs are collectively breathing a sigh of relief as they are probably no longer the primary target, and it's probably going to be more blitzers now.
Do you hide Sputnik? He can get smashed by Vicious Nilla.
I would definitely be hiding Sputnik.
I think Sputnik is good bait. If you run all the way in there with Vicious Nilla, you're not getting out. That's too far to run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if he doesn't manage to knock him over, he stands right next to him and goes, "Get away from me with dive and tackle."
You know, send Sputnik on a deep space mission.
I mean, like, Sputnik's immune to claw, though, so, like, go stick him next to Vicious Nilla.
I want him to shut down this left lane, because right now the left lane is just screaming. Yeah, okay, there's one. Good.
We're gonna stick our thrower next to Vicious Nilla. Blitz or throw? Who does Vicious Nilla hit?
I think I'm hitting that thrower.
Same here, to be honest. Navolian has 2 heads. Navolian is difficult to tie down, even with your old Sputnik.
Sputnik's just being a pain here, though. It's just what he is, I guess. I'm surprised he's that aggressive with him when he is the 1-turn threat. Not a great 1-turn threat, but it's a 1-turn threat.
You take that back.
Nonetheless.
You take that back. Sputnik and Einstein go together like...
I would love to see this troll do nothing all game and then just throw Sputnik for the touchdown.
Well, he killed somebody, right?
Who would
Admittedly,
like that?
it's a lineman, but he killed someone.
True. And then he stood there for about 4 turns wondering what he was being told to do.
Oh yeah, he's done 3 parts of fuck all.
Lumi still doesn't know if he wants to score this turn or like next turn or not.
How out of his comfort zone is Lumi right now? Like, is he used to this situation, Superfed, or is this something that's like going to be giving?
I mean,
moment where he's like, oh.
he's in a position for sure where he has to, like, normally he still protects his gutter runners very well. The gutter runners are not usually, just 2 on the pitch, especially on turn 10. Maybe at the end of the game after all the line rats are gone or something like that. So the diving tackle here even is going to be presenting a unique threat because he doesn't have anyone else to support that, and he's not going to leave Navolian exposed. He just won't. So
It's really scary. Oh, sorry. If
no, you're fine. No,
else,
you're
say
fine.
Superfed.
No, you're fine. I definitely think he's out of his comfort, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, looking at the numbers right now, you've got the ball carriers not really going to participate in the scrimmage, so that means it's 6 versus 11, and that's 6 versus 11 when you're going to have a strength disadvantage. The other team has 6 guard to your none, and you or 5 guard rather, and one of the players that you have is a 10 movement gutter runner who you do not want getting hit pretty much at all costs because you have no Apo. So
And Lumi thrives in those situations where you don't want. He's got so many things that he doesn't want hit. But here's some dice.
oh, 4 plus dodge.
As you do, I think he might reroll this.
The distraction.
Sputnik's going, hey, guys, that's not quite enough, buddy.
Sputnik, you legend.
I think you reroll this.
Lumi must be
What
thinking
is
hard
he-
on this. No,
He's thinking reroll overtime. Reroll overtime. That's in Lumi's head right now.
reroll, 1 turn threat, reroll.
The whole reason you just risked that 4+ was to get a second gutter to protect and preserve. So now he's gonna have to roll another 4+ here.
I mean,
but
conversely though, if he did not get the knockdown,
he doesn't make the
Oof.
4+.
Oh,
All right, so
huge.
Navolian is out of range of the killer.
I don't think.
yeah, but he's not out of range of a lucky, Copernicus knockdown.
He can get 3-died right now.
Okay, so does Walkathon just go hand towards the ball carrier, or do we just?
That would be a misplay.
I think he should just control the center of the field and just not worry too much about the ball.
He's up
Worry
one.
about vicious-
He's up 1-0. He just needs to keep killing rats. That's all you do.
Yeah.
You can't stop the
Say
score.
Ball in.
Second and the third can either blitz Navolian or just stick diving tackle straight on him as well. I mean, with 2 heads, diving tackle is going to be less effective, but
Well, you get both, right? So you're going to use the lineman here, I hope, to block that. Yep, he did. And so now you get the diving tackle, and you get a 3-die blitz
3
with
dice.
Copernicus.
Yeah. And no sidestep means you're nearly going to push him out of bounds too, which is really handy.
things just seem to be falling apart for the rats right about now.
The last 2 turns have just been brutal.
Well, the thing is though, the first 4 turns looked really bad for the Orcs. Like, I'm really optimistic about O's
Going
chances
down.
now because I'm biased.
Navolian is going down to the ground. I may have just pushed him straight and followed up, to be honest.
I think that's a poor choice to leave him there, not with 2 people.
Like, if you push him directly
not in
across the
range.
end zone and then just stand up and just follow up, you've got him marked by 2 guys. Makes his it means he sort of has to dodge back, and he's still doing it away from diving tackle.
The thing that still helps the Orcs there is there's no good way to get the ball to Navolian next turn, and then both in a scoring position or anything like that. I don't like the killer going up there either, though. That means that once Navolian does break free of this, which is very easy for him, even with diving tackle, he's got 2 heads in Agi 4, so it's just don't 1 and 9. He
Problem
can
is,
get
he's
deep.
not going to be our stall for very long. Even deep. I think Lumi could hold out for a turn, but then he's going to have to give the drive back to Walkathon. So Walkathon might be. You're exactly right, Superfed. But Walkathon, on the other hand, Walkathon might be backing himself to score that drive, which is risky. I'll be honest, because if Choco and the other Gutter come back,
I like how the other gutter runner doesn't have a name, apparently.
who cares?
Shuruffle?
Yeah, he's a
Shuruffle?
rat.
Gutter 00-3.
Warhammer Frog probably correct in chat too. Like, this next turn is do or die for Lumi right now.
I wouldn't count him out, but I'm just happy
No,
Sputnik
still
did a
not.
thing. We called out Sputnik, we gave him
Yeah.
shit, and he did cause a turnover. So, and more than that, he basically allowed that hit onto Navolian and kept Cherry Gerbilee down on the pitch. So, lots of good value from that Goblin.
And I know there were some big O people saying that Walker should sack Sputnik before this match too to drop some TV, but he's turned the game.
How much was the TV difference for this match?
It was close enough that there was shenanigan that
There was no inducements.
basically
No,
yeah, there was
inducements, alright.
there was movement that made it from Lumi was up enough and had a wizard. Lumi bought another rat, so Walkathon sacked his Fen lineman and brought a new Orc lineman, which meant that Lumi couldn't get the wizard. So there were shenanigans.
Oh man,
That was yesterday.
That is what is so good about this game and the playoffs in general. Like, that sort of decision making you have to go through.
Well, my frog, we know you just want a foul.
I would like to see a foul here, to be honest.
I would like to see one too, but
Walkerthon's shown restraint with the fouling,
Yeah.
even with that bribe in his pocket. But he is playing a control game, so you know he does have to weigh the cost of positioning to foul somebody. If you do that, you're giving up ground somewhere else.
Absolutely right. I mean, and realistically, I mean, what was he going to foul last turn? Like, he had nothing to foul with anyway.
Man,
I mean, you
this
could-
this gutter is so locked down right now.
Cherry Gerbilee.
It's 5+ for him to get out.
yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
And
It's
after that, it's
unknown
tackled.
territory for a gutter runner, isn't it? What do you mean it's 5 for me to move anywhere I want?
Yeah, that's why he's a bit undeveloped. Needs
Folian gets out when just like we expected. Do we see the
Yeah.
fail Mary?
The fail Mary.
There isn't going to be another Orc lineman there to catch it at the same time.
Navolian can still take a hit.
But Vivardi can get it to him. I think it's a 4+ long bomb, 5+.
Can he
With
be
the reroll?
caught? He can be
Yeah,
caught. now.
Navolian can be caught. Like Galileo and
Yeah.
Armstrong can both sort of get there. It will require 2 GFIs to get the blitz, but
Yeah.
like.
And
I
right
think-
now, one more GFI.
Here,
All we
we're
can
getting it. We're getting it. It's
Here we
gonna
go.
happen.
Oh,
There's all the 6s in the. He got it.
Sweet,
He
sweet.
fucking got it. He fucking got it.
he's in range though. Can the Orcs catch him? Can't believe he used no rerolls there. That's what was really brutal.
Roll
Oh
sixes.
my god.
Walkathon would have loved him to use a reroll and hurt him in overtime.
Absolutely.
later
I
in
think
the game.
Walkathon would have even just like a 1 or some result other than like a 6.
But I don't know why there was one more GFI there. That's
One more
a bit weird
GFI
to me.
puts him completely safe. Yeah, I mean, like, and he
Yeah.
still had the new sure feet. So I mean, reasonable chance that he's going to stand up, and now he's still in range here.
He can get 3 dice hit.
Now we're uphealing because that's the world we're in.
Oh man, if these KOs come back from this and this blitz doesn't work out,
It's a game,
So-
isn't it?
that's a
Question-
tilter. That's a tilter.
Question, gentlemen: do we like? I mean, like Walkathon sort of already answered this question by rolling all these dice. I was going to say, do we just go for the blitz and then roll our blocks, depending on what happens there, or?
He wants blood.
I think-
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the goblin just is getting in on this action.
Sputnik. I think I'd like to see just one GFI to get diving tackle on first, and then do all the other.
So you're
moves.
making the blitz with Armstrong?
Although, oh yeah, that's a good point. I guess it doesn't really matter though. Neither have tackle. You might have to. If it's a 3-dice blitz, that's going to be better than a 2-dice blitz.
I mean, if he wants to throw GFIs for days, he can get 3-die.
Yeah, 3 dice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
four
okay
GFI
with
though.
making. I'm okay with making a GFI to mark and then 2 GFIs for the blitz.
Here's the
Adding an
GFIs for
extra-
days.
oh,
It's orcs.
Oh, God.
Orcs don't like GFIs, and if you roll them, they will let you down. Speaking of,
Ooh, here we go.
But
There
he's
is
committed,
diving
he
tackle
has to
on.
do it.
he doesn't do the
push
3-die.
backs.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
So this is just a casual 8 out of 9 times. Napoleon scoring here.
Certainly not the worst result. What's going to be interesting is these KOs got to come back, really.
Man, Cherry Jubilee just getting pushed around. Do we find a down rat and just kill it?
I think you can foul here for sure.
With the Black Orc or your thrower?
Oh, that's a good point. He does have a bribe, but a 1 would hurt.
1 would end the game.
Yeah, I don't see there being any sort of. Well,
On a line rat. Okay, good.
Do we see?
Two-
do we see the GFIs?
two-
Two
uh,
GFIs.
believe it.
2 more GFIs would have made that a lot better.
It's still 2 heads in Agility 4. Like, you've got to expect that Napoleon is just going to step right out of this and be like, okay, guys, thanks for playing.
If he made the 2 GFIs, though, that would make it a 4+.
So here
Vicious
goes.
no, just pushing here.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh.
snake eyes.
Wop, 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 wop. I mean, the throwers are great. Like, bringing the thrower down now is really good, like, really good value, right? Because now he just goes short hands, and then I start scooting my way back up.
Wow, that's
From a 5+ cat or pass to that.
yeah, everyone's going to remember the snake eyes, not the 5+.
Not the incredible pass, yeah.
But to be
But
fair,
I
that
think-
was pretty unlucky. Like the 5+ pass isn't horrible path. It's pretty bad, but
Is there an argument that we foul Napoleon with the blitzer?
Probably.
Like, I think you can risk that, right? You risk the send off to remove Napoleon with a foul, don't you?
That takes care of the overtime threat.
He's AV6, like 1 assist foul. Generally speaking, you're going to crack him like like an egg.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably still game, though. The fact that the Orcs have the ball now, and there's, what, 8, 7 rats on the pitch?
Yeah, but
I don't know. I think with a bribe, I reckon I'd step on that. If you didn't have the bribe, no, but
yeah, with the bribe in hand, I think that you risk the blitzer to foul him, and that, like, if you stun, you probably more or less cemented your win. If you remove him, I think the game's just done. Like, I think Napoleon is the only way that Lumi stays in this, right?
He's not going to, and I agree with it because Bavati is able to hit the ball. Oh, that Black Orc didn't go where it's supposed to.
yeah, I'm interested. He's not really going to screen off the ball here.
Right, can go up there and step up and go, hey guys, you got a Black Orc you can move across?
The problem is, there's not a very good recovery currently.
No.
Like, he can't complete the
Not
cage,
unless,
but
not unless Napoleon sort of breaks free from diving tackle.
You'd think he could do, but
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're all ones, I guess.
Now that was 4 sixes out of 5 rolls to the snake eyes.
Hey, Metal, I think your speakers are repeating what we're saying. Not Metal, sorry, Crusader.
There's a little echo.
I'll move the mic back, but
That's me.
There's the bribe. No, I'm hearing it out on the stream. So the bribe in the foul doesn't do much, even after the orcs are finally fouling.
would have broken armor on Napoleon.
Lumi can certainly still win it, but
Absolutely.
it's some.
It'd take some dodges out of the rats, but like, yeah, that's what they do.
Walker can get into the classic YouTube cage here pretty quick.
Just
Like next turn, he's gonna be really hard to get.
Yeah, as soon as Armstrong just moves up, he basically has a ready-made cage coming up, doesn't he? That said, your cage is only as fast as the corners.
good long.
I mean, this has been a really close and good match so far.
Yeah, this second half's been a bit of a blowout, though, hasn't it?
Well, and it wasn't. I mean, he was a 1 in 36 on the dodge. Otherwise, he would have scored.
Well, I would argue that the failed diving tackle there is a bit of a blowout for Luminous.
I mean, really, he's only had, what, 2 removals this half against him? Or no, 3. 2 knockouts and 1 injury. But that's... I wouldn't say that's a lot for Skaven for 5 turns. Or 4 turns.
It was more that they just happened
Oh.
right at the start and just unbalanced things enough.
The uphill.
From Napoleon.
Yeah,
He gets it.
but depending on when this ball scatters.
Yeah, that's not a good scatter.
Nah.
He can get to it with the line rat.
In line rat weeks frost.
What does he do? Get the line rat and then bomb it to the other side.
Oh, I'd just throw it at Napoleon.
Blitzers can't.
I mean, like, if
cover it.
Napoleon... Yeah, if Napoleon catches it, though, like, Brahe the second is going to be like, oh, I have tackle. And, some words.
4+3+, good stuff. Lumi is definitely...
Other than that snake eye,
There
he has
it
rolled
was.
well.
Lumi is definitely showing that he wants to win. Willing to throw the dice, risk his players. He's going all in, but... coming up a little short.
The one thing here, though, is, I know there's a rat marking that Black Hawk. Disregard that.
See now, how do you deal with Vicious Nilla?
Well, I mean, I think with the way the ball, like Vicious Nilla didn't do anything in the last turn. So I think, in effect, by making this as another knockout,
There have
by
been a
making the
lot of
situation what it
knockouts.
is, yeah, by making the situation what it is, by having the ball and volume and whatnot down this end of the pitch, Vicious Nilla is not really going to play much of a role, because as soon as you fail up there, it makes any chance of recovering the ball down here just that much worse. Because if you're burning rerolls, like they're both coaches down 2 rerolls.
Oh, a pass.
He's going to end it.
Oh! That's only a 3+ pass, but that's as far as I've seen Orcs throw.
Pretty
for
ballsy
recent times.
when Cherry Jubilee was still up. I'm a bit surprised at that. Do we see the GFI?
I don't think. 3 turns for Rats to score twice.
They can do it, but
They certainly can, but it's 1 turn to score and then 2 turns to steal and score.
It becomes the game of the
so-
playoffs if he does pull that off.
People would look at the grand final and be like, it was alright, but the Walkathon Luminous match in the round of 8, that's where it really was.
Tomo, not all orc throwers are created equal. Armstrong, he's more of an elf, with like a dark elf, I would say, with movement 6 and agi 4. Riley Reed, for me, is more of a black orc, but you know, there's definitely some shit orc throwers. I'm not gonna deny that. So this isn't safe.
The old orc thrower.
Papanowski has 2 Strength 4 throwers, 1 in Clan League and 1 in the real thing. You can't complain, Papa.
So do you go for the
orc
2 die
throwers.
with Cherry Jubilee, or do you just go for it with Vicious Nilla?
I mean, Vicious Nilla doesn't have to go out a diving tackle, so...
Sorry, Papa.
Okay, we're going with the line rat route. Which I guess is only a dodge with no GFI, so that's fine, but
Yeah, I mean, it makes a 2 die, right?
cost him his reroll now.
Yeah. Vicious Nilla's going, I can dodge away from a troll. That I can do.
Prepping himself mentally.
So he's going to be in the winning mindset.
Yeah, see,
It's like 45% mental.
Much easier.
Oh no!
Oh,
That was so unnecessary.
to be fair, though, the same thing would have happened with Vicious Nilla. So, Einstein, it's time to shine. 3 dice hit. Vicious Nilla, we believe. Probably can't spare the players. Then.
Yeah, I think if you want to play ultra safe, you have to deal with Tirat Sari. I mean, as I said, Hubble the second can just blitz his way free.
So the Scaris, I think, is going to be sitting pretty. If he's the only one that has Walkathon going all the way.
But does no one have Walkathon winning this bracket?
The Scaris,
Just the Scars.
I believe.
I feel like there might be another Big O person. Like Morka might have done that.
What, did the coin flip even go against Gengar says he does, the Peacock does? Morka has Walkathon going? But look, the faith in the Big O from the Big O is strong.
Gengar and Peacock. Okay, now everybody's coming out of the woodwork as
Everybody just wants to
Walkathon
claim it.
fans. Quickly, let me edit my Excel sheet.
Coaches in the semis.
Yeah.
With Sandrine has to go through Sage to get through the next round.
We need the Australia NZ semi-final. We need it.
So we're scoring now.
Can he get Morkut?
I mean, he can. Do we want him to? That is the question. City's
Almost.
KO rolls for the Rats.
Chaco didn't get up, and the kicker didn't, but we did get Napoleon back.
Probably
Sandrine
two of the
Sage
most
match is
important players.
the
Not
Sandrine
yet, I
Sage
guess.
match is directly after the Papa Nasty game right here.
Which Crusader has casting rights for. Someone called him in early.
Look, you know, and I did thank you for that. You're a good man.
I might not be able to actually cast it though, because I'm worried.
Don't say
The
that.
match this afternoon. Double dipping.
Look, just because Liam licked the cupcake doesn't mean that somebody else isn't going to eat it.
I was awake already, Papa Nasty. I was awake for this. The landlord decided to come out and do landlordy things. Oh, Warhammer Frog. That that would be a good one. And I know Metal's swimming around the periphery trying to get in as well. So I mean, like, I guess we can have our Metallic Overlord on the play.
Just going to gangbang that game, huh?
Oh yeah, man, all over.
I call the left nostril.
That's a oddly specific choice, but sure.
I know what I like.
Oh, no, Sputnik, no. You Walkathon, don't do it.
Jeez.
Sputnik's done good.
The 2-turn, 1-turn defense
No!
involves a goblin on the line.
All Walkathon's Black Orcs the same. Well, I mean, no, but Ptolemy the
No.
Third is injured.
The
so,
one that got injured first turn is the different one.
one would argue that that is the correct build for a Black Orc, though. Guard, block, mighty blow. Not necessarily in those orders, but
Yeah, I would
certainly.
not recommend that order.
But I mean, like in Walker's defense, like the division he was in had some fairly. The guard played a big role.
So, is it finally time that Napoleon can hit the hole and get through it?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Then you have one turn to steal off the orcs. I don't see it.
Vicious Nilla
Blitz
is
happening.
just looking at that goblin.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I think Lumi's gonna let out some anger on the goblin.
The player card for Sputnik, is that hair or is that some sort of like hat? Because if it's hair,
a
that's
hat.
disturbing as hell.
It's that. Ooh, is that 2 rerolls for the Pastry Pests?
Yeah, they just got another one off the body. Perhaps foreshadowing the turn of events here, rolling a 1.
All the flies surrounding the Skaven when you get close.
There's some nice touches in this game. Oh, poor old Sputnik does not look like he's going to be long for this world.
Here we go.
Sputnik lives!
Sputnik.
Going to a good thing. It'll be the unskilled lineman that kills him. I can feel it in my bones.
He's not even going to roll it.
So we show hands that time.
Yeah, learned his lesson. Dun, dun, dun. And because of the way that he set this up with no diving tackle on that side, much easier.
Yeah.
That was a misplay, because the first time he was able to do it with the same pieces.
No, but I mean, in fairness, I suspect Walkathon does not rate the Skaven chance to steal the ball out of his hands in one turn.
I don't think he'd be that careless though.
No, but I mean, like, if he just sets up if he just gets the ball, sets up deep, and then comes back.
There's 11 rats on the pitch, finally.
Yeah, Chipmunk decides, hey, man.
Literally on turn 1 and turn 16. There are 11 rats.
And it's still too many.
Like, I'm not going to count, like, you don't count Luminous out, because Skaven do Skavenly things. But you've got to feel that Walkathon's feeling fairly confident that...
I don't think I want a blitz, but I do want a riot.
A riot would be the icing on the cake, right?
A blitz would be fine, but a riot, I think, makes it more interesting. Because then we get to see a 4+ or 5+ dodge into a 1-die or red die.
Well, see, kickoff return is handy. That will be after the blitz.
Before,
I
you mean?
believe that's right. Is it
Before.
before? Is
You don't
even better.
you don't know what the kickoff result is when you do your kickoff return.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was before or after, but that's really handy, obviously, because you can get
Gengar,
on the ball.
is Gengar okay? Because he's saying he just wants nothing. He just wants a clean game. Gengar, mate, you may need to take yourself down to a doctor. I think something's
Gengar
wrong with
just
you.
say clean game.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm.
Swag Dusk wants to throw a rock.
Coming to?
Rock to the gunner. Which one?
Oh man, I could totally see Vicious Nilla dying to a rock.
It'd be almost fitting,
Oh,
right? It's how all the best players die. By getting sconked by a rock.
Except that damn skink on Isomach's team.
No, what we need is pitch invasion for everyone but Sputnik. That's a good
Sputnik's the last man standing.
Yeah.
That would be entertaining. That would be entertaining. Kickoff return is doing its thing.
Well, we have to wait on the edge of our seats a second long. Here we go!
So you're saying there's a
Here
chance?
we go!
I mean, okay, so Walkathon's set up, Navolian's on the other side of the field.
Yeah, that's not the greatest kick.
He's got tackle zones with tackle and diving tackle protecting the right wide.
Kick lineman was still taking a nap. If he had been on,
Mm-hmm.
this could have been really bad for the Orcs.
You have to blitz away Hubble, right? If you want a chance at this. But then you've got Armstrong still sitting right under the ball. What do we do?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's come down the right side for Walkathon because he has his 7 MA on the other side of the pitch, so he'll be able to get across. Sagan can get across if really needed.
It's really a shitty kick. He's gonna have to make a lot of dodges.
Yeah,
'Cause-
there's not many great options, is there?
I would
The
like
the
to
one
see-
thing he can do is just get a scoring threat, and then on turn 15 or 16, make a play for the ball.
Like with 11 Skaven back on the pitch, and a natural one-turner, this game is in danger of swinging absolutely back the other way.
No. Even if Lumi scores, Goblin is going to be thrown. Touchdown, game over. You can see the
That's
headlines
it,
now.
Okay, we're saying Walkathon both either wins the kickoff or Luminous has a stroke and says Walkathon can receive the ball.
No. The Astrorkz are going to have one turn after this, even
Oh,
if
yes, true,
Lumi scores.
Maybe I just don't like the setup from Lumi. I mean, if you're praying for the blitz, because he's spread out.
You play, yeah. I was thinking that myself. I'm thinking like your players are a bit, like they're a couple of squares back.
Because everybody on the left is going to be completely out of this, or just having to make horrible dodges.
Boy, Jerry, yeah, absolutely. There is indeed overtime. This is a playoff match. There needs to be a winner.
Because if he wants a scoring threat, he needs to get Navolian through diving tackle.
Yeah, and like, conversely, he has to do the same with Choco if he wants to put down
I would actually
on the throw.
go between the two Black Orcs. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh,
Oof.
got to re-roll that.
If he's not in range, it's game over.
Alright, that kind of helps. But now he has to dodge out of
Still get
tackle.
away from the tackle.
Didn't do it.
Nope.
No,
Game over.
that's it.
Yeah.
I would have gone between those two Black Orcs. It's two
Yeah.
tackle zones, but there's no diving tackle and there's no tackle. So the rerolls are fine there.
Yeah, you got 2 heads. You should easily make it through. Like, I mean, not easily. Usually 4 plus 2 heads. Like, you've got a much better chance.
It's just one of those
going tackle, diving tackle.
rare situations where 2 tackle zones is better than 1.
Hmm.
And then if he's going to go that way, why wouldn't he just go along the sideline? So you didn't have to
avoid
burn a
tackle,
reroll.
yeah. I mean, like, I also would have advocated a blitz on one of those 2 players to begin with.
Well, yeah, he could have blitzed on this right side if he was going to do that first.
So Walkathon has had to go through 1 Super Bowl winner already, and he's going to have to go through another. And his team's intact, so maybe. It's possible that Walker plays either Sage or Sanjun, and then Horny in the final. So that means it's going to be 3 Super Bowl winners. So
Yeah, that's true
road-
too, Papa Nasty. Like, he could have just blitzed the Orc thrower, but I mean, like, he then also has to go through tackle, diving tackle as well.
On this side, yeah.
Yeah, like, he didn't really have high odds on either way. Einstein doing a thing. Shall we see the gobbo throw? I don't think so.
Sputnik gets eaten last turn.
Oh, that would be devastating. I mean, you're trimming 110 TV off your team value if you're eating, right?
I don't know if devastating is the word I'd use for it.
There's a lot of love in the Big O for that little guy.
Let's see if we get a respect foul out of Lumi. That niggled killer is looking right at me. Not that I'm one to do those things.
No, of course not. The Blood Bowl is a civilized game played by civilized gentlemen, as they discuss their ivory trade portfolio and things like that, I guess.
Indeed.
No.
Aww.
Really, I mean, like, does anyone blame him? Like, the game's done. Do you want to risk
Choco
certain...
Shame.
finally gets back on the pitch, and he just retreats all the way back.
Reroll that shit. There you go.
Choco Chipmunk deciding that perhaps discretion is the better part of valor.
Get over there and foul.
Okay,
with
well,
that
Frog, there are some exceptions to the rule. I mean, like, all things considered, though, all told, Luminous still has a team intact.
This team's not going anywhere.
No, they'll be back. Nobody's killed people into retirement.
I mean, if I told you at the start of the game there'd only be 2 cased rats, and Lumi would lose, I don't think you'd buy that.
Man, I would turn around to you and go, I'll take those odds, thank you very much.
Although
And
if
then
you
I'd be
told
filthy
me
when you
that,
win.
if you had told me that many rats were gonna die and Walker wins, I would have been very surprised.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's impressive. The 1 in 36 truly is what did it, but
Yeah.
Sputnik just runs around Armstrong.
and
Well-
yeah, the dozen KOs. I mean, I don't think it was that many, but well, let's find out how many it was. 19.
7 KOs inflicted by the Astrorkz.
Yeah, 7.
Getting close. Half a dozen.
So GG to both coaches. It was a really good game to watch, wasn't it?
Oof, those dice though. So where Walker didn't get it is in the 6s, only 13 6s, compared to 22 1s. But Lumi with 45 1s and 30 6s.
Yeah, but that combines all the dice you're rolling, as far as I understand it. So, like, if you get a 7 on an armor roll and you happen to roll a 1, it counts as a 1 and a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lumi probably did have the worst of the dice in the second half. But then again, Blood Bowl is about minimizing the amount of dice you roll, and Walkathon did do that pretty well.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't think he can be the coach, really.
Well,
Hey, it's interesting to see
Orcs
there
and-
that he...
Orcs are a team that doesn't have to
Yeah.
roll a lot of dice other than blocks.
Yeah.
No. You force your opponent to roll them just by standing there. But, you know, Lumi failed all of his tooltip action block juggernaut rolls. Well done, Cyanide.
It's a feature.
50-50 on his passes. Yeah. I like
So-
how it says wake up after KO, 100% success rate. When we saw Choco Chipmunk decide to take, like, you know, most of the game off.
Yeah. That's not 100% accurate 100% of the time.
No.
So what did we think about the next round going for Astrorkz?
I need to see the bracket. Who were they potentially up against?
He's against Sage or Sanjun.
Right.
The interesting thing is,
I know
he's
he's
never
gonna
beaten
prefer Sandun.
Sanjun.
He'd still probably
He's
prefer
never
Sandun.
beaten him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Sage's Slaneshi Slaughterers sort of live up to their name, don't they?
Not just that. It's not a good match for Orcs.
No.
And granted, Sage's only losses, although not only because they had the whole thing last season, but generally speaking, Pete does pretty good against them. So they can lose to Orcs, but you have to play really well and get some dice. I don't know. Sandut's team is pretty battered too, so
Oh yeah, it's literally a case of the walking wounded for the old Shadow Hill Cowboys. Where are they? Let me have a quick look at them.
so since they are the winners, I'm gonna go ahead and replay the hype video for the Astrorkz.
I'm gonna actually have to watch both of them because I missed them. Yay!
And stay quiet while it's playing, unfortunately, because I can't mute you. But let me get this up here. And there we go.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. Alright.
Oh, naughty again, yo. But just look at this centre line. It's just a complete wall of blue armoured orcs just going, sit there. Look, this is why Sputnik is a legend. Look at him. Look at him, giving it hell. Giving it the beats.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up for us, unless you guys have any other last thoughts or comments about the match.
No, great game. What else you can?
Yeah, two good coaches playing good Blood Bowl and crazy shit happening. That 5+ pass,
Worth the
man.
hype. Oh yeah, I was really excited after that happened, but then yeah, the Snake Eye was a bit disappointing, but
I wanted overtime. I just wanted overtime.
What was I saying? Should we hop into the Sports Reporter channel?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the stream, guys. Thanks for everybody for watching. Thank you, co-hosts Liam and Crusader, for hanging out. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yep. Good night.